Hello, this is Tim Fusco. I'm the CEO of TrackAbout. I'm here today to talk about asset tracking for medical equipment providers. So first of all, let's start with the problem. Well, the problem is because of competitive bidding and reduced reimbursements, the name of the game is to get more efficient, to deliver the same services more efficiently at a lower price. So one way to tackle that is to do a better job of managing your equipment, because medical equipment is one of your largest investments. If we can find ways to better manage that, to service the same number of patients with fewer pieces of equipment, that's one way to save money and to get more efficient. And then once you start to do that, we find that medical equipment providers can start catching other things, like catching places where they would have lost equipment and left it behind, or we can recover that. It's just basically underutilized and or sometimes not properly maintained, or just replacing really paper records with electronic records. So there's a variety of places we think we can do good by doing asset tracking with medical equipment distributors. The software used today, generally speaking, is good at getting reimbursements, getting paid for services, but not at tracking your assets. Here's a quote from one medical equipment company. It's a pretty common story we'll hear that we buy this equipment, we're not sure where it went, we've got some rough idea, maybe it's here, maybe it's there, maybe our people are leaving equipment behind after a patient ends service, but there's a variety of ways where equipment can disappear. So to tackle this, we've seen medical equipment distributors implement an asset tracking system. Here on the screen, these circles are the movement of your assets, maybe from a vendor through your locations out to your customers, either patients' homes or facilities. These little squares that say add new and deliver customer delivery, those are scanning points. So to keep it really simple, we'd recommend that a medical equipment provider start very simply, where you're just adding assets to the system and then delivering and returning them to patients and customers during pickups and deliveries. The key there is to make that really, really fast and easy. So the worker is letting the scanner kind of do the work. So they're just zapping some barcodes or some RFID tags, and they just keep moving. And that we see is what works is to start adding more and more capability as you go, and to start to replace paper records with electronic records for kind of maintenance done, internal inventories, moving things around inside of customer facilities, doing filling if you fill gas cylinders. And it can keep doing that and keep adding more and more scanning points. The basic idea here is to gradually grow into it and to find a tracking system you can do that with, where you can start very simply. You can eventually grow into it where your people leave without any paperwork in their hands. They're printing receipts if needed at the point of delivery, capturing everything electronically, getting that all integrated, and really moving to much more of an electronic world. Once you do all that, you can start to do some great reporting. So even at the simplest, just scanning back and forth to customers, you can start to see things like, here's a overdue asset search. So show me all my medical oxygen cylinders that have been out for more than 8 weeks. And for example, this top customer here, Mercy Hospital, has 15 cylinders that meet those criteria and have been out there for long enough that they're probably empty. So you can do this for any kind of equipment and start to track down things that you can go pick up and bring back and get them more productively into service. Another look, taking a look at your internal inventory. So here, show me all of my oxygen concentrators that I haven't moved in 100 days. So you can track those things down, figure out why they're not moving, and put them into more useful service. Here we're looking at the balance of a patient or customer, what equipment they have. So you can see, you can click into the delivery records. There's a column here called days held in the middle, which can help you find things that, again, that aren't moving, and to keep them moving. But importantly here, when a patient ends service, you know what to look for, how long it's been there, and you can track those pieces of equipment down so you don't lose them when the patient ends service. Also important would be to do some distribution reporting, so to look at how within a time range for a certain location, say, show me, sort all of my patients by who I made the most deliveries to. So in this month, I visited this first patient here 6 times and delivered and moved a lot of equipment back and forth. So the idea there is to find distribution optimizations, that maybe instead of delivering lots of cylinders, I should deliver an oxygen concentrator because this patient's really using a lot of oxygen. Or maybe there's, maybe instead of going so often with small deliveries, I can go less often with bigger deliveries, and really start to optimize that distribution piece. Another example here is lot tracking. To move from paper-based lot tracking to electronic lot tracking, where you can do recalls and keep track of all that information. Maintenance tracking is another win, that once you start to get do more and more tracking, you can start to automate more business processes. So here, for example, doing a maintenance action on an oxygen concentrator, where I can capture information about its service hours and liter flow and oxygen concentration. I can keep all that information with the asset, so that if it's having problems in the future, I can go back and look at its history and decide, rather than pour more money into fixing this thing, it's time for me to get rid of it because it's a problem piece of equipment. And to really have that information to report on, to compare manufacturers and to look at facilities and see who's taking care of the equipment, and all kinds of good stuff you can get from mining this data. And when you click this maintenance records, here's a snapshot of a maintenance record within the history of an asset. So we're looking at the history of an asset. At the top we see its current properties, and down below we see the history of that asset, including highlighted in green that maintenance record. So you can see after we did maintenance, then we located it to a different location, we loaded it on a truck and delivered it to a patient. So you can start to build up this history, and you can, if there's a problem with it at this patient, we can quickly zero back on its maintenance and see what we found during that last maintenance. If we click on that maintenance record, we'd pop up and see a little more information about it. And a good tracking system should also let you set preventative maintenance schedules, so you can see what maintenance is coming due. So here's an example. Show me all of my annual concentrators that are coming due for maintenance. And so I can find them and get them tracked down and make sure that maintenance is happening when it is supposed to happen. So we at TrackAbout have some good experience doing this kind of stuff. Here's a quote from one of our customers. But the key here is to find a good tracking system that will be very kind of fast and easy to use, let you start simple, and grow into eventually automating more and more your business processes to help make you more efficient. Thank you.